Spence Crawford, man. Fight of a generation, really. Like, I think when I was making my top five fights that I wanted to see this year, this was one of them. And to be fair, it's been a great year for boxing. The other, I think the number one was Tank versus Ryan, and we saw that. We're seeing this. I mean, PBC are just smoking the game. I mean, Canelo versus Charlo, like you can't really fuck with them at the moment. Al Heyman's just doing bits out here. But yeah, Spence Crawford, man, I'm gassed about the fight. I gotta be honest with you. I like would I like to have seen it 3 years ago or maybe 4 years ago, before COVID? Yeah, I probably would have, but hey, I'm not gonna complain about it. I think 135, 134 is still very much like it's still very much like a fight to be excited about. I think, another year or two, you'll be saying, all right, these guys are a little bit past it. Um, the thing with Errol is the inactivity. He's not been active at all. I think the last time he fight was against Ugas. How long ago was that? I think it was at least 18 months, I'm gonna say. By the time they fight in 2 weeks, uh, Las Vegas, July 29th, you know, man, it's gonna have been a while since he's got in the ring. And I'm gassed, man. I'm gassed. I think you're gonna have an undefeated, undisputed champion at welterweight, full belt world champion. It's the first time it's ever happened. Even Floyd was never undisputed. Floyd was never undisputed in any weight class. Um, Not necessarily his fault. There was times where people had vacated belts. When he beat Judah and when he beat Bouldermere, he basically collected all the belts, but they'd vacated along the way. Um, but yeah, man, unbelievable fight. I think just to get straight to straight to the point. If I had to pick right now, I'm kind of going with Crawford, just because I feel like Spence has been inactive. And also, I think I felt like Spence is just the bigger, stronger, sturdier welterweight this whole time. But Crawford is really, really grown into the division. If you ask me, it's questions to be asked. Do you know what I mean? Because he's really grown. Like I've, not to fucking be a name dropper, but I've met both guys. Do you know what I mean? I've taken a selfie with both guys, and you know, when 2017, so yeah, 5 years ago, first time um I bumped into Crawford at the Barclays Center, and he was tiny. He was tiny. I was the giant compared to him. And then 3 years ago, like I saw him at Fury Wilder at the MGM, and like he was the same size as me. And like now you look at him and he's as big as Spence. And I met Spence a couple of times. Spence is fucking massive. Like Spence is huge. Spence is a big dude. Like, and you look at them head to head, like all of a sudden, like, do you know what I mean? Crawford's had a massive growth spurt in his 30s. Um, but yeah, I mean, maybe he might be on some of that Amir Khan juice. Khan got popped when he was training with at the same camp. But anyway, um, I think Crawford, I think Crawford takes it, to be honest with you, because aside from the fact that they're now both the same size, Crawford just got more variety. That's just what it is, man. And it doesn't really, in a way, I feel like it doesn't matter how hard Spence trains. I mean, like, we'll make the bull case for Spence as well. But I feel like Crawford's just got too much variety. He can change things up. He can be very unpredictable, and he can improvise. And ultimately, he's going to be able to work out what Spence's pattern is and be able to change. And Spence, I don't feel like he can turn up the gas, right? He can, up the intensity and the work rate and what he's doing, but he can't do something different, right? In the way that Crawford can. Now, I feel like the bull case for Spence is, and I've covered this before, Spence has just got such a beautiful boxing technique, right? He's so well organized. He can be really compact. He's got every punch that you need as a boxer. He's got an incredibly high work rate. Yeah, and his punch output when he's on his game is unreal. And he can methodically beat you up, right? That's what that style is all about, right? That Derek James style. It's about coming forward, putting it on you, and methodically beating the shit out of you. Do you know what I mean? Like going down to the body, bringing it back up to their head, doing the same thing, rinse and repeat, getting you into corner, hitting you, you know what I mean, on the inside, hitting you middle distance, keeping it long when you want to keep it long, but just non-stop always coming forward. That pressure just beats people up and breaks their will. And do I think it's possible he could do that to Crawford? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not sitting here saying Spencer got no chance whatsoever. Nowhere near that. But, I just, if I'm gonna fucking make a video, I may as well make a prediction. I may as well get to the point with it, right? But that doesn't mean at all that I think Spencer's got no chance. Quite the contrary. I think I see it, to be honest, as like a 55-35, sorry, 55-45, maybe a 60-40. But yeah, more than within the realms of possibility that Spence could not only break Crawford down over 12 rounds, but he could stop him, right? Because Crawford's resume at 147, and I mentioned this a million times, flimsy, flimsy, man. Like just paper thin, you know, like a fucking, do you know what I mean? Like I don't even want to say what, but yeah, I was gonna say, these cheap condoms that you get abroad, like flimsy, man. You know what I mean? Basically, Terence Crawford's welterweight record is a Mexican condom, bro. That shit flimsy, man. And you wouldn't really put any faith in that at all, you know. And when you really put pressure on that record, it falls apart. He hasn't done shit at welterweight, if you ask me. I still think his best win was probably against Jeff Horn, you know. Where's Jeff Horn right now? Probably, I don't know, probably in a trailer park in Australia, like running some bandulu barbecue, um, and sniffing yay. I think if I had to pick what Jeff Horn is doing right now, it's probably that. Yeah. And that's his best win at the weight class. I mean, you could I could be being a bit hard. Maybe like Sean Porter, but that was Sean Porter's last fight. He was basically ready to retire. He was done. If Al Heyman's letting you fight on another show, you've pretty much told him that this is virtual retirement fight for me. And when he went down, he could have kept on fighting. His dad was like, "Nah, for what, man? Wait, this is a retire. This is a payday. This is a payday. Carry on fighting for who? For what? You know?" So yeah, man, I think there's question marks around that win as well. But it doesn't necessarily matter what you've done if you're in the right time at the right place. And I feel like with Spencer's inactivity, he's been at the weight a very long time. He's going to be, you know, he's spoken openly about how he struggles with making the weight. I think he's been fighting at that weight since he was like 17. And he's now like 34, right? That's a long ass time. And so all those things considered, and the angles and the variability that Crawford's got, I feel like he could just win 7 rounds, you know. And I actually think, and I hope, while this might just be wishful thinking, the second fight could be more exciting, you know, because whoever comes up second has got nothing to lose in the rematch, right? So like the first fight could be a little bit more of a chess match, and then the second fight could be, all or nothing, bombs away. And it's normally the other way round, but I think the way the dynamic is, both guys being at the age they are, both having undefeated records, you know, everything to lose. but all everything to gain. The first fight could be cagey, and second fight, someone's got an L, you know, and they're willing to do whatever to level it up. So yeah, man, that's the way I see it going. Exciting fight. Uh, People in Vegas are getting a treat this year. My God. I mean, the amount of fights that they've got been crazy. But yeah, man, that's the way I see it going. Let me know what you guys think.